Yeah, me too.
You haven't put it together yet?
I don't think I want to because, are you rolling?
Clap for me. Daddy.
Should I twerk?
Yeah. Clap that ass.
Okay.
Oh.
I can't even fathom how somebody could make
No,
their butt clap.
I think about this constantly. I think about it all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can't be wearing pants. If I had an ass, I would.
You gotta be wearing some sort of thong ordeal. It's not about how big your ass is, it's about the technique.
I love ordeal as an adjective, as like an adjective for a noun.
Especially for this one.
Yeah.
If I had an ass, I would be shaking it all the time. And that's on God. That's on my mama. Okay.
Gives me confidence.
Basically, the framing device is one of the first times that I met Mari. We were at a party at the Triple Link house. They were in my class for a while, and had all these great stories. Mari's a great storyteller.
Yes, this is true.
This is true. About puking and meeting Timothy Chalamet and Anne Frankhouse, all these stories.
Apparently he's pretty dumb.
Timmy's pretty dumb. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I was telling them about all these stories that they have. And Mari asked for one story in return.
Oh.
And I never got to tell that story. But in my head, it was this one.
Oh.
Someone, can you clap for me?
Which?
With your hands.
Okay.
Is that word? Wait.
It's our first
where
runner.
would it be?
Rachel's nowhere involved in this one. If you want to hang out, I'd love that.
Oh, I thought you were. That's why I was so far away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're
could
good.
be in the background,
Yeah.
just drinking.
It's June 2020. I just graduated high school without a ceremony because it was 2020. I want to do more characterization, but I can't think of anything. I'm not really great at freestyling sentences anyway. But I wrote a song, so we're gonna do that. So it's June 2020. I'm about to go to Tahoe with my friends, including Liam behind the camera there, and I'm feeling like life is kind of stagnant. I'm feeling like I'm not really going anywhere, and I write a song. All I've got to say, I'm overrepresented. Pay me minimum wage. Look at it from the other side. I've got nothing, no trauma in me. If stories about kindness and a missing man has counted, then I'd open my heart and finally spill out all the beans. I should be ashamed. I should be beheaded. Don't go to baggage claim. These things can be prevented, but there's nothing I can do, save for the one big obvious thing that I could surely do. There's gotta be more than this, and if there isn't, then I've got nothing. No more ideas. If stories about kindness and a missing man is counted, then I'd open my heart and finally spill out all the beans. If stories about kindness the beans. Okay, there's the song. Thank you. Did you like the little scatting I did?
Yeah.
Cool. It's like kind of like if there was another guitar here and like another better guitar player, then it would be like a guitar solo. I'm in the car heading back from Tahoe, and I get a weird call. Hello? Somebody was like shuffling around the phone and like giggling. I wasn't entirely sure what to think. And then I heard a female sounding voice on the other end tell me,
Congratulations.
"Congratulations? On what?" Is this, do I know who this is? But eventually, nothing happened, and I hung up. And then, the next day, I get another call from a no caller ID number. I answer it, and it's, again, strange noises, congratulations, and I ask for what, and I don't get an answer. It's hard to talk with this person. But eventually, I sort of tease out some answers. I would like to know who this is in case it's someone I know, so that I can know.
My name is Woodland.
This person is a girl named Woodland, who at the time was 17. She lives in Wahoo, Nebraska. Wahoo is a small town about halfway between Omaha and what's the other Nebraska city? What would be the capital? Do you know what I'm talking about? Nope. Okay. What is up? Why did you call this number?
I don't know. It's kind of something I do sometimes when I get lonely.
She's very high. I don't know on what, but she admitted herself that she's very high. And we start talking just about our lives. She called up a random California area code. My area code is 408, and so she was like, okay. She thought it was 480. I don't. She was, kind of baked. We start talking, and I get to know a little bit about her life. So she's 17, Wahoo. She's got a boyfriend who's 22, and she talked to me about her boyfriend, and it worried me a little bit.
Oh, one time he did 12 lines of cocaine. That's his record.
Wow. Which is double the lethal limit, which is incredible. That is quite a detail. I feel like maybe this is a dangerous. Listen, I don't want to pry, but I feel like this is maybe a dangerous guy.
Dangerous is cool.
No, like not in a like hot, like, he's a rebel.
Like in a crimey way, right?
No, kind of like in a like danger, like to yourself, maybe to your health. And yeah, and he's how old?
Like 24.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's way old. That's way old. Now, she tells me these things, and I'm telling her about my life. I'm incredibly interested because she has a very different life than me. She talks about her parents left a long time ago. So now she and her sister, whose name is River, live with her grandparents, who are 98 and 92 respectively. And they live in a trailer. And she and her sister are shedded off from her grandparents because of COVID. So a pretty terrible situation to be living your teen years in. Her sister River wants to be a prostitute when she grows up, which is a pretty sad dream to have. They both said they'd lost their virginity at 10. We talked quite a bit about romantic love. She was talking about her boyfriend, about how she wants to break up with him. And I said, yeah, that sounds pretty valid. You should probably do that. And we talked about how to break up with somebody. And I told her that I had never really broken up with someone. The only time I had done it was by accident. I was unhappy in a relationship, but I wasn't looking to break up with someone. I texted them that I wanted to like talk or something like that. I just texted them a clue that I was unhappy, and then they were like, I wish you had done this in person instead of via text. And I was like, oh, I guess I just broke up with them. And I sort of left it at that. I told her this. I told her at the time I had just gotten out of a weird little thing with a girl, and she was very interested in that. She asked me what my dream girl was, and I said, probably someone who's just nice and smart.
Nice and smart.
Probably a big two, maybe
I'm
funny.
nice and smart.
Oh, well, if you lived in California, if you went to school in California, I would totally.
California's a big state.
Oh yeah. But where I was, if you lived where I am, then I would totally date you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. You can't say that. I have a boyfriend.
It was fun to talk with somebody living, thousands of miles away. Before we hung up, she promised me that she would break up with her boyfriend and that she would apply for that job. So that made me feel really good that, even just a phone call, we had decided a plan of action, and in some small way, it was probably gonna make her life better, which is cool.
Hey Colin, can you slate and clap?
Slate is this is the third. This is call number 3, and I'm about to clap. So.
This time it's your hands. All right, do your thing, girl.
I'm gonna wait till the plane is done though. It's getting cold, and
I'm getting ripped tonight. R.I.P. that pussy. Hey. Wait, what's that? What was the lyric that rhymed with Richter? Oh, she's an actor.
All right, plane's good.
it's thicker than Andy Richter.
Yeah.
But then the line before that is she's an addicta.
She's an addicta. Yeah.
This is Woodland's boyfriend was a cocaine addicta.
Thicker than a Richter. And then Andy
Colin, tell me
Richter.
about that third call.
Yeah. No need to rush. We got 40 minutes. Okay. So yeah, call number 3, the next night. She calls me a bit later, I remember.
Colin!
Yeah, hey, it's me, Colin.
It's you! It's Colin! Colin.
That's right. Don't wear it out.
So, guess what? Guess what happened?
What happened?
Guess what I did?
What did you do?
You gotta guess.
Did you... I don't know. I can't guess.
I broke up with my boyfriend. And it went well.
Okay.
Yay!
Wow. That's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
That's really, wait, tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, he did yell at me. He yelled a lot, and he was yelling. I was crying. There was all of that, and it was. He said he was dangerous, and that was on my mind. When he was yelling and threatening to overdose. But you know, that was expected. That's happened before. But it's final this time. I mean, he did like ask me if I wanted to move with him to Omaha, and make babies. Do a little of that. I told him I'd think about it, but you know, I don't think I want to do that. I don't know.
That was the big event. I also got to talk to River. There was Juice World playing in the background the whole time because River likes Juice World, and I talked with her a little bit. She's 14. I said, I have a brother who's 14, and she said you should set me up with him, and I said, you got it, I will do that. And we continued talking about the diner. She hadn't went and asked the diner yet, but I was like, okay, that's all right. One step at a time. First, have a traumatic breakup experience, and then after that, you can go look for a job. And then the last thing that I remember from that call, which I wrote down to my journal, is that we had talked about the afterlife a little bit. We had talked about what happens after you die. And she said that when you die, she believes you go to another planet, which I thought was very nice. And I wrote down in my journal that it was hard to believe that we were on the same one.
Romantic.
We'll cut there. And we'll cut there.
I already got it.
Okay, cool. All right. It's now getting. It's going to be dark in about 3 minutes.
My lens is. We're doing pretty okay actually.
Oh, the sun is shining through to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I set up the chair.
Yeah, it's pretty. Liam said it looks cool.
Can I
How you
see?
feeling so far, Colin?
I don't know. Feeling weird. It's like.
It's a lot of explanation.
Yeah, and I'm trying to tell the story as slow as possible, but as a result, it has no momentum.
Yeah, I don't know why you're going so slow.
Well, I can speed it up through cuts.
You can go 1.5x speed while you're talking.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, you know, that's the balance to strike. Well, I'm really glad that you went through with that. I think that's really good. And as much as it might have sucked to be on the end of that yelling, I think that you did what's best for you.
You know, in Charlie Brown, when the adults go wah wah wah,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when he was yelling at me, because you were telling me that he was so old. And he's basically an adult in Charlie Brown, and sometimes all I heard was wah 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 when he was talking. And that was helpful. It was hard. I didn't like what he was saying.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was also hungry.
Actually, I wonder if any Oscar results have come out.
I bet they have. All right, should I go? I think I'm all ready to go.
Go whenever you're ready.
Okay. After that call, just a little bit, just a little longer. Okay. After that call, I don't hear anything for a month. So the rest of June goes away, and we're like halfway through July, and I have no way to reach her. She never called with anything but a no caller ID, which I think is like that's like star 69, right? Yeah, it's funny. So I have no way to check up on her, and the relationship is entirely in her hands. So toward the end of July, I get a call from a no caller ID number. I'm in the car in Oregon. Our family had taken a trip up to Oregon, and she calls and she asks, "Hello?"
What's the 480 club?
The 480 Club. This is Colin. You called Colin.
Colin. Hey.
Yeah, I think 480 is almost my area code, so that was probably what you meant.
Yeah, I vaguely remember trying to input some like contact thing.
And I realized that I was not as interesting to her as she was to me. She had a story that was essentially interesting, and she had no reason to keep talking to me like I had to keep talking to her.
Oh my God, do you want an update?
Yeah, I would actually love an update.
I think I'm pregnant.
Okay. I try to keep her on the line as long as possible so I could know what's going on. But ultimately I'm driving home and I say, can you call me in 10 minutes and we can talk? An hour later she calls me and you think you're pregnant?
I think so, yeah. Yay.
How do you know?
So funny story. I went to a party and I took 5-Hour Energy and NyQuil, like same time. It's what I do. Super fun, makes you black out.
And I asked her why she did that, because that's super unhealthy. Don't do that. And she said that she was just lonely. She was so lonely.
And then the next morning, I wake up next to someone I don't know, like a rando, plus I'm naked. And I haven't gotten my period in a couple weeks. It should have hit the 6th of July. So...
and it is not that anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of past that.
Uh-huh.
So...
Yeah, wow, that sounds, I'd be pretty nervous, I think.
Yeah, you know who else was nervous?
Who was nervous?
My ex.
She also told me that she had gotten back together with her boyfriend, which made me go, oh no. He had convinced her that he had changed, and she was willing to give him another shot, but when she found out that she might be pregnant, he split. Can you get a pregnancy test? I think that would be the first thing to do, is to get a pregnancy test.
A pregnancy test?
Yeah, you know.
I don't know, like, aren't those super expensive?
Woodland hadn't taken a pregnancy test at that point, and I said, you should definitely do that. And she said, what, do I seem like I have that kind of money? And I said, pregnancy tests are pretty cheap, I think. What are they, like $15? I look at Rachel.
I can confirm.
I think they're about like $15. And I mean, but that's not the kind of funds that Woodland has access to. And I offer to send her a pregnancy test. And to that she gets strangely mad. She got mad at that.
You could have Venmo'd her.
Well, the thing was, she never gave me any sort of indicate. She said she didn't have social media, which is ultimately suspicious, right? Like, it makes you think that some of the things that she told me weren't true.
One of my former friends didn't have an Instagram, so I Googled her name. And I found her and corroborated that she indeed existed.
Well, yeah.
You need to exist online to exist in reality.
I mean, there's pretty good chance that if you exist in reality that you have some footprint online. But I couldn't find Woodland in Wahoo. There's one high school in Wahoo, and I couldn't find any yearbooks there. I looked around. I did find other people who were probably in her class who went to Wahoo High School and graduated then, but ultimately I could not find any.
She could have lied about her name.
She could have lied about her name. She could have lied about, well, the thing is,
She would have no reason to lie about anything.
she wouldn't accept money from me, so it wasn't a scam.
Right.
But she could have lied about any number of things just for kicks.
She could have lied about the juice world.
She couldn't have lied about the Juice World. That was there.
It was there, but it could have been staged.
You're right.
They weren't real Juice WRLD fans, like my dad is.
And I think we can cut it there. So yeah.
I really need a pee.
Liam needs a pee too.
It's a pee fever.
We've got pee fever.
We got pee fever. You know what's crazy is, like, you're probably gonna have to edit down the footage.
I would like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to have to edit down.
Yeah.
I want to edit down fucking a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm going as slow as I possibly can.
Right.
Ultimately, it's going to make the 40-minute runtime makes for a worse movie.
Well, I mean, it's something we're so unfamiliar with.
Yeah. You know, like, I kind of feel like we could have just shot something here in the yard and had fun like we were earlier. And that would have been more fun. The room he's in. Yeah. I don't see any non-dudes. Like around 20? Yeah, that's really weird. Maybe they're filming at a fraternity house.
Rolling audio. Rolling camera 2.
Oh, that looks like Dax.
Alright. You're good to go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go pee.
Oh, all right. Yeah, sure.
Is that okay?
I'll just talk to myself. Cool with me. So, what I realized was that if I was going to try to help out this person, that I'm going to need to make my life interesting, because her life is interesting to me, but my life is not as interesting to her. And so, you know, she could call and then forget about me, and then I would never hear from her again. So I devised a plan, which was that I was going to make up a story that would get her to tune in like a TV show every time we called. And I would try to lie and make my life more interesting, sound like I've got something instead of nothing. And so ultimately the plan was that I was going to say that my ex wants to get back together with me. And then if she was interested in what that would be like, she would have to call me again after that, after I met up with her. She calls again the next day, and comes out swinging. She took a pregnancy test, and it was positive. And I said, okay, so now that you know that it's positive, do you know what you're going to do? And she said, yeah, she's going to get it taken care of. She can't have a child at 17. She can't, and no one that she even knows could handle that. And so she was planning on going to Colorado, driving to Colorado, where her cousin, who has done this before, would take care of the pregnancy, because she did not have enough money to go to Planned Parenthood. And I urged her strongly not to do that, because it's incredibly dangerous. Her cousin isn't a doctor. He just has had that situation pop up before. So it would be a bad idea to do that, I said. And I said there are funds and stuff, I'm sure. I said, listen, can you promise me that I said, can you promise me that you will call me tomorrow and give me time to research this for you? Because I'm sure there's funds, there's some way that we can get you to the right doctor who can do that. And I made her promise to call me tomorrow. And then the next day, I did hella research. Got a lot of, I looked at a lot of websites about funds and charities and what happens if you can't pay for an abortion. And I got that all ready, but the call never came. So it's a month later, and I don't hear from her. And I am on an RV trip with my good friends from high school. It's our sort of last hurrah before most of them leave for college. There were a few of us who weren't going to leave because our college was online, but this was sort of our last big thing as a group before I had to say goodbye to everybody. And we're staying the night at an RV stop, and we're sitting at a table, and I tell them the story. And then, right after I tell them the story, we go to do our laundry at the little laundromat that they have, and I leave my phone in the RV. And I come back, and there are 4 missed calls from a no caller ID number. My family and I and Sam, my friend who goes to school down in LA, get an Airbnb for a couple nights. Sam is able to get away from the school where he's at, and I'm able to go visit him, and also a change of setting. And Sam and I have a talk and a bit of a discussion, an argument. This particular argument, it was about whether or not you should be yourself around other people. Sam believed that he had to be fully himself around other people, that's the way to, live happily, is you gotta just be yourself and then let the people who appreciate that come to you. And I was saying that you can't be entirely yourself, or that you shouldn't, because that's in a way sort of selfish. That a happy life should take equal amounts, living authentically, and also tact and poise. And we argued about this, and I realized that we were coming from 2 different places. He was at school at the time, in person, meeting a lot of new people, and making friends. And he was trying to maintain his sense of identity among all these other people, whereas I was stuck at home alone and wanting to just talk to anyone. dressed freshman, my chest is barring entry inside. And you're not you yet, you're someone's daughter. And we're knee to knee in a tub, and I'd rather run and hide. Allison said it's been a while since I saw you, and her hand went up and touched my shoulder, and the back of my head exploded. But I won't answer to that name until my braces have long come out, and you'll have moved into the dark side of adults, and I'll still be waddling around. Music. We're on the roof of an elementary school, I'm 16. We've got one deep in her jacket and two using each other like gasoline, and I haven't nearly the skills to understand how I'm feeling. Why 2 years later, when the world picks sides and my friends are freewheeling, I'll ask them, how does it feel to be far from home? As if I'm not at that moment holding on for dear life, as a jet ski drags me through open water at lightning speed, away from where I was doing fine. Shutting my eyes, water coming in, I'm filling my lungs, my chest, my spine, filling my lungs, my chest, my spine, filling my lungs, my chest, my spine. Allison said it's been a while since I saw you, and her hand went up and touched my shoulder, and the back of my head exploded. But I won't answer to that name until my braces have long come out, and you'll have moved into the dark side of adult, and I'll still be waddling around, waddling around. Thank you. Yeah, I wrote that song when I was very sad. And people think when I play it for people, people think it's funny, which it kind of is. I'm gonna talk about waddling around and whatnot. And it's like kind of cute, but the lyric is like,
The lyrics are pretty sad.
yeah, it's, what do I say? It's I'll ask my friends how it feels to be far from home, even though, as if I'm not at that moment holding on for dear life. Basically saying like, I don't feel at home either. And I realized that I had become Woodland in this interaction. And thinking about that made me feel less alone. And so I wrote another song. When I wake up, I keep my eyes shut. You taught me why I am hungry for sky. So wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're okay. Maybe after all this time, you were right about what happens when we die. So wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're okay. Wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're okay.
No, I was actually talking about your ass this time.
That's it.